I just can't get away from a good time.
It sets up deep in the pocket. Goes down the field for Smith. Oh, he got it!
This ball is drilled to center field. Pilar at the wall. Gets there and hangs on.
Top shelf where mama hides the cookies.
This infield is a great wall of China. Nothing's getting past us. Good D behind you, Bry. Good D all around.
Get the garbage out of here.
He runs with the 50. He runs with the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes.
It's not always whether you win or lose. It's whether you're winning or losing.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. You get that through your head?
Welcome to another edition of Sports Chatter with Bax and Patter. I'm your host, Brandon Bax.
And I am Patrick Reed. It is February 22nd, 2017. Bit of a light week in sports compared to last week. I guess we went a little heavy there, but getting her right back on track. Bax, what do we got in store today?
Well, tomorrow is the NBA trade deadline, so we're going to talk about some deals that have already been made this week, as well as some potential deals that could be coming down the pipe tomorrow. We're going to talk a little NHL. Patrick Laine versus Austin Matthews really lived up to the hype last night, so we're going to dive right into that game and a few other notes around the NHL. We're going to get some baseball talk in. Grapefruit League is starting up this weekend, so we're going to talk some Jays and some MLB, and we're going to finally, we promise, we will do some NFL recaps from the 2016 season. We're going to start off with the AFC East featuring the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. So all that and much more coming your way, so stick around. Sports Chatter is next.
Don't travel, don't double dribble. I want a good clean game and no back talk.
I figured since I'm going to be like Mike, I might as well dress like Mike, you know.
Lowry, half-court heave, a prayer at the buzzer. Oh!
Hey, stop hogging it, Mike. We're your teammates.
How do you intend to match up to the Squire's strong inside game?
It's a great question. Tomorrow, after the game, Jackie Moon, will wrestle a bear.
Yes, Bax, it is the NBA Roundup, as we like to call it. Game on. Trade deadline coming tomorrow. Huge trade coming down on Sunday, just after the All-Star game. Boogie Cousins, gone. Sacramento, bye.
I didn't think that it was going to happen before the trade deadline. I honestly didn't even think it was going to happen at all. But going to a team that you didn't think was going to be even on the trade front in terms of adding players at all.
Yeah, completely out of the radar. Nobody even heard of anything coming, and really didn't get a whole lot back.
No, they didn't. New Orleans Pelicans is the team we're talking about, and they give up Tyreek Evans. They give up some picks, probably a few other players in there that I don't even know their names because, who really watches the Pelicans? But
Antonio Davis, that's about all I know.
Yeah, exactly.
The brow.
Yeah. So now they got kind of a big two there now, a legit big two, but they're sitting ninth in the Western Conference right now. They're not really a great team. Sacramento obviously isn't a great team either. Why do you think that the Kings wanted to trade Cousins now, and why do you think the Pelicans wanted to add now?
See, Boogie Cousins is one of those, DeMarcus Cousins, is one of those guys who has unbelievable talent, but it's the attitude that goes behind him, this woe is me kind of thing. Like, if the guy played up to his potential all the time, he'd be unreal. But the guy, he mopes around, that kind of thing. I don't know if it was crappy situation in Sacramento, which we all know is, well, exactly, they're almost as bad as the Knicks, but at some point you kind of gotta wonder if it's not the guy as well. There's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I know we talked about him potentially coming to Toronto, and based on this deal, I think they could have gotten him.
Yeah, but
there was a long-standing deal. It did come out from Masai. I don't know if you heard about this. It was JV Terrence Ross. Well, it would have been something else after the Serge Ibaka trade, and a first-round pick for Boogie Cousins. And I guess they just never took, or maybe that was the offer that was taken off the table that the GM there was talking about.
And then Sacramento decided, well, we got to get something for him now. He could be leaving in the offseason anyway. But you got to think New Orleans wants to lock him up now with Anthony Davis there. And they want to.
I believe he has one more year on his deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think they're going to want to try and lock him up. Maybe he'll have some chemistry there with Anthony Davis, but that was kind of one of the big deals. That
garbage teams making an odd deal.
And you'd think Sacramento would have got more for him to try and kind of rebuild that team. They got a new arena there. They want to show that they're still legit. In Sacramento.
GM is really high on the one kid, Meeks or Bleeks.
Yeah.
And he says he's the next Steph Curry. He's going to shoot out the lights.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, not a whole lot of...
you think New Orleans would be giving him up if he was going to be the next Steph Curry? But
You'd think. Sometimes they just give up on people a little too easy. Just down the highway there in L.A., bit of a tire fire going on there as well.
Yeah, they get Magic Johnson in there. They fire their old president. Magic comes in as the new president.
Jean, she fired her own brother.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation in LA right now. That's for sure.
That of course is owned by the Buss family there, Gene Buss and Jim Buss. Gene actually fired Jim, who was running the team. And they put Magic Johnson in place. Former Lakers great, but.
This situation kind of reminds me of the Leafs situation when they decided to hire Lou Williams. Decided to hire Lou Lamoriello and Mike Babcock. A storied franchise that had 3, 4, 5 years of just really poor play and really poor,
I think you're misremembering. Showings. It's more like 10 or 20 years.
Well, but I mean, like the Lakers have been bad for 3, 4 years now, for example, and they decide, enough's enough. We really want to try and pull the plug and get some guys in here that maybe will turn the ship around. And kind of building on what we're talking about now is Paul George, and them talking about potentially bringing Paul George into LA. Indiana might want to try to get something for him if he doesn't want to resign there.
Yeah, I just want to touch on Magic Johnson because, the guy's a legend there. I don't know if this is a PR thing, if he's going to pull a Shanahan and bring in people to kind of do, although Shanahan is a hard-working guy, comparing the Leafs and the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
But, it's not like, I don't see Magic Johnson being like Jerry West and in the high schools and scouting players and that kind of thing. Magic Johnson's always been this larger-than-life guy. Does he really have the stones to...
But you know what? He cares about the game, I think. He's a former player. He is obviously an amazing player. He cares about the game. He cares about basketball in L.A., and I think the
doesn't
people know
always
that.
Translate, though. Look at Wayne Gretzky.
That's true. Gretzky, God bless his soul for trying to get behind the bench and coach, but it just wasn't for him. But this is a president,
right?
This is a president role.
Yeah, the coaching didn't work for Magic Johnson either.
Yeah, that's true.
And it sounds like he wants to get in touch with Kobe and bring Kobe back to be part of his staff. Which
I could see that. I could see it.
Kobe knows winning, but
yeah,
can Kobe teach
winning?
Can
he teach winning? Does he care to teach winning? Would he even come back?
I think he would. Yeah. He's just got that big enough ego,
in
right?
LA, so.
Yeah. But anyways, touching on your Paul George, I think the Raps need to go after him.
Yeah, I heard on the radio. Yeah, if he's available,
you got to make the phone call.
What are we? I'm sure Masai would definitely. He always says everybody's inquired about 100 players, and you get one of them. I'm sure he's acquired. It's just a matter of what they would have to give up, and salary-wise, they would have to dump close to $20 million of salary in order to get that guy on your roster. What are they going to be able to give up to? JV and then another gone. 10 mil. And
JV's gone. You trade a first rounder, one of your point guards, maybe Kojo.
So that's 15 mil or 16 mil. You still got to free up a little
more.
Go
to the luxury tax.
I think they're already at the luxury tax.
Not quite.
Not quite. They're not
Go
quite
into
there.
it.
Yeah, they should. They make enough money.
First time in team history.
Yeah, they make enough money. They
can afford it. Money.
So. I would definitely be for it. They're looking for help on the wing, and they weren't looking for an all-star. But if this guy's available,
you have to go in
for it. You go for it. Sure.
And they're also looking at PJ Tucker.
So a more reasonable option here is something more realistic. I think of PJ Tucker,
classic 2-3 man,
and a former Raptor.
Absolutely, for a second-round pick, I believe he was. He's gone to the Sun. He's turned into a pretty solid player, a good three-point shooter. Bench. Yeah, absolutely.
He would replace the 3-point ability of Terrence Ross.
Well, I think he'd be an upgrade on Terrence Ross.
And he would be playing off the bench, obviously, and he would kind of solidify that bench role.
Yeah, we mentioned Gallinari, who they could be interested in from Denver, and there's also Chandler in Denver as well, who's sounds like he might be available.
And these are all players that not just the Raptors are interested in, but a lot of teams around the league are going to be looking. Yeah,
the Wizards probably after him.
The Celtics and the Wizards have to be looking to add after the Raptors added Ibaka. They have to kind of maybe a reactionary move, or maybe the Raptors try and steal one of those guys as well, just so that the Celtics don't get him.
Well, exactly. They're going to be tough with those teams. Not to mention, you got to eventually get through Cleveland as well. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
but you're
you gotta
basically
get some
piling
help
up as many
somewhere.
eggs as you can in your basket and just going for it this year.
Absolutely, and I mean they have depth in the system up and coming. The Raptors 905 is a solid development team. There's lots in the cupboards. It's not like the Leafs where it's bare.
No,
there's lots in the cupboards, so you can afford to sell a little.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to be watching
It sounds like Butler might be
Jimmy Butler as well. And when you look at Chicago too, they're a fringe playoff team. They have the Raptors. For God's sake, if they play the Raptors in the playoffs, we would be done. And Chicago would be like, well, we're not trading Butler for playing the Raptors in the playoffs.
Well,
but no, there's no way to know, obviously. But I mean, they're saying Jimmy Butler could also be on the block. That's why tomorrow is going to be so interesting.
Which is odd for me. Like I don't know why they're not better.
The Bulls?
The Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Butler's a star. Dwayne Wade is an aging star, but he's still good.
Yeah, but you know what was supposed to make that team the next best thing was Derrick Rose.
Wow.
And look what happened to him. He's now no longer even there, and he was not even the player. He was always hurt, and that's why the Bulls kind of went downhill. And now it's just Butler and a little bit of Wade here and there.
Yeah.
So this is what tomorrow is going to be so interesting to see what some of these teams are going to do. Add, sell, or are some of the lower teams going to start buying? Who else is going to be selling off their players? We'll have to see.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, you see these trade deadlines, you look for moves, but a lot of times they just don't happen.
Exactly.
You got to hope for some excitement.
So we'll have a full recap of tomorrow's trade deadline on next week's show. So we'll
hopefully the Raps can make a big move, and they're back in.
They're back in action on Friday against the Celtics. A very big game, Serge Ibaka's debut.
Game.
So we will also recap that, and they'll probably play it a couple more times before we're on the air next. So we'll talk about all that.
And right now we're going to move along to the NHL.
Listen up, we're still in this thing. We just need a quick one. Listen up, Cash! We gotta work harder than them, okay?
What is icing?
Well, icing happened when the puck come down, bang, before the other guys.
Doesn't count unless you go Bardowski.
You gotta go Bardowski, Schmel.
It's knuckle puck time.
Welcome back. It's time for some NHL Puck Talk, and we're starting off our NHL segment this week with one of the biggest games of the week, Patrick Laine versus Austin Matthews, Jets versus Leafs. It didn't disappoint last night.
Oh, absolutely not. I think this is the new Crosby Ovechkin.
This is amazing. This rivalry, I mean, if you didn't see it, the Leafs won 5-4 in overtime. Matthews had 3 assists, Laine had 2 goals, so you could say they were pretty even in terms of points, but Matthews got the better of him this time.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the Calder debate as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you throw Mitch Marner, even Willie Nylander in there, plus Zach Werenski.
And you got and you also have Kachuk out of Calgary.
Yeah.
But for right now, it looks like it's Matthews versus Laine again.
Running away, Laine's ahead in points right now and goals, but Matthews right on his heels. And I mean, Matthews has the more responsibility, I'd say, as a centerman.
Yeah, and when you look at, I mean, there's been a lot of debate of who Laine plays with this week as opposed to who Matthews plays with.
That Scheifele is a stud.
Scheifele, okay, so Laine is playing with stars right now, and Matthews is playing with rookies. Not journeyman, but like Connor Brown and Zach Hyman. Guys are grinders. They're workhorses.
Although he was with Nia in there last night a little bit.
Yeah, he was, and on the power play, he likes to play with those guys sometimes too. But when you're playing with grinders like Hyman and Brown, who, I mean, maybe in the minors they're scoring 40, 50 goals, and when it comes down to the NHL, I mean, Hyman has to be one of the most unluckiest players on the Leafs, and he still has a fair amount of points. He can't buy. I mean, he's got 10 goals. He could have 30 with the amount of chances he's had this year.
Absolutely.
How does he feel riding the bus back after all these games? Like, if he even finishes on half of these goals, Matthews is ahead in points again in the Laine race there.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, playing with a couple grinders, Babcock likes him with those two guys. They kind of get him the puck and let him go type deal, which, I mean, you got to think. I mean, he's got 52 points already.
Yeah, and what I like to compare...
Laine hit 30 last night. He's at 28. He's going to get 30. He's going to...
Oh, he will.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 35, breaks Wendell's record.
I think he probably will. He's still got a whole lot of games to do that, over 20 games left. But what I like to compare Hyman and Brown to is Chris Kunitz to Sidney Crosby. In terms of a grinder...
Not quite. Kunitz has more finishing.
He does have a little bit more finishing, but Connor Brown has finishing too. But, I mean, you got that grinder that likes to go and get the puck for the superstar center, Sidney Crosby or Matthews, and gets him the puck in the right times, and he finishes.
For sure. I think, like I said, that's a great comparison to Sidney Crosby, because, that's what it's going to come down to. Sure, Laine is fantastic. He's a scorer, everything like that. He's kind of that Ovechkin-type player. He is a scorer. Although he has gotten quite better at defensive responsibility, he's got his complete level up. And he's working hard. He goes and gets the puck after he loses it. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the season. I've been watching his games. His head would go down if he lost the puck, and he just forget about it. Take a flyer on defense. He started to go after that puck. It seems like that hit in January just woke him up.
Yeah.
That one where he got concussed.
Yeah, and we thought he might be down for a while.
Yeah, he's back up, and he's more responsible defensively. He's a more complete player, which you don't see from Ovechkin. Barry Trotz has him buying in a little bit, but he's still that me first, I'm a scorer type guy. Whereas Matthews, you have that he's after the team success. You see it yesterday with 3 apples. He's more that Sidney Crosby.
His celebration on the overtime winner was epic. Absolutely, and you never see emotion from Matthews, especially in the interviews. And you did. You did see it. You could tell he was very invested in this game and this rivalry.
Well, yeah,
he's very invested in it.
He was very upset with himself taking that ticky-tack penalty at the end of the game there,
and he knew it.
You saw his head go down. He skated right to the box. There was no argument, anything. Like he wasn't feeling good, but like you said, he was feeling good after that. Jake Gardner goal there.
Exactly.
And Jake Gardner, he's had a great season.
Yeah.
This guy I remember the hashtag free Jake Gardner.
Yep. People
loved this guy. Let him free, let him flee. He had to develop.
Yeah, he did. And I think he's finally done that under Babcock and under the right coaching. And I just want to, before we move on, I want to talk about Kadri too.
I want to talk about Laine more.
Oh, you want to talk about Laine? I was going to say
2 goals. How many shots did he have yesterday?
2.
He's bang on. 100%.
He has a very high shooting percentage, Laine does. But I just want to say something to the people of Winnipeg. And we got to set something straight here. Winnipeg, Toronto does not get breaks. Toronto does not get lucky with anything. If you're saying that Austin Matthews, if he wins the Rookie of the Year, if you're saying that it's because it's rigged and everything's rigged for Toronto, you've got something else in your mind. Because it doesn't make any sense. When has anything ever been rigged in Toronto's favor? Ever. So I'm just saying that if Matthews wins it, it's because he earned it, not because it's rigged for Toronto. It's because he's a better player than Laine and probably always will be. I just want to say that. Throwing down the gauntlet because I was extremely frustrated with this the last couple of days, hearing all these people from Winnipeg saying Laine's better, Toronto, everything's rigged. That's not even the case.
Yeah, you know me. I'm not a Leaf fan. This kid is a stud. Matthews is a stud. Laine is a stud. They can both be great players.
They're both studs, but there's one player that has to be better.
Well, one player has to win the Calder.
Yeah.
This is going to be a rivalry. They only play twice a year, but this is going to be a highlight game.
It's going to be like Crosby, Ovechkin.
I want to touch on another Jet right now. Okay. We talked about Scheifele. The guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Brian Little. This guy is an absolute stud. I love this guy. He gets you 50, 60 points a year, every year, and nobody ever talks about him.
Very consistent player. He was back in Atlanta, too, was he not?
He was back in Atlanta.
He
that's
where he started. So he's been around for quite some time.
He's got those curly locks. I love him.
Brian Little.
He's a great player.
Is he your GOAT this week?
No,
we're not going to go that far. We don't go that far.
You said Kadri. Kadri, 25 goals this year. Quiet 25 goals.
Oh, my goodness. He has matured into exactly what Mike Babcock has wanted him to mature into this year. Kadri, like we were just saying, 25 goals, 22 assists through 59 games. He is almost a point-per-game player now. You look at his plus-minus, he's only a -5. That used to be so much worse. I just want to say that. His penalty minutes, he's playing physical. You see the hit he had last night? He's hitting people. He's getting under people's skin.
He almost got his claw clean by... Actually, Patrick Laine saved his life. Was scoring that goal because Bufflin was coming down and he was going to take him.
But you know what? That's the type of player that Kadri has to be. He has to be the guy that's going to get under the other players'
It's like Leo Komarov. 2 goals last night.
Exactly.
And he's over there steamrolling people and just getting under their skin.
And another reason I think that guys like Kadri and Gardner and some of these guys are having, even Komarov, a bounce-back year, is because the spotlight isn't necessarily...
He was an all-star last year, bud.
Not necessarily... Oh, Komarov, yeah. One of the only Leaf all-stars last year, that's for sure.
The only Leaf all-star.
Yeah. it's because the spotlight isn't on them at all anymore.
No.
You've got the spotlight is on the rookies. It's all on the rookies.
Veterans are allowed to play. JVR, I still think, needs to step it up. And Riley, I know he's hurting, but his play has lacked the last few games. He needs to get back on track and get it going. He did not look great last night. I mean, that final kill, he was good. But for the most part, he was kind of wishy-washy, is what I found. And I mean, 5D, he's probably tired. Carrick's down.
Yeah.
But he needs to step up. He needs to be that.
And what's going to happen with Riley is if the Leafs don't get the true number one defenseman.
Oh, he's going to be Phaneuf'd.
Well, I mean, he's getting wore down just because the fact that he's playing against the other team's top players.
He's going to be Phaneuf'd
every single game, and he's not even built physically for that. He's not a Shattenkirk size. He's not a Phaneuf size. He shouldn't be out there every single shift.
Doesn't have the shoulders of Phaneuf?
No, well, he definitely doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by Phaneuf, that's for sure. But I mean, Riley is not quite as intimidating, that's for sure.
These Leaf fans will turn on him like they did with Phaneuf. Phaneuf was a fine player, but he was miscast in the role.
Yeah.
Riley, I mean, he could develop into number one.
As not quite the same. I don't think they would turn as bad as they did on Phaneuf.
When Phaneuf was traded here, you were throwing a parade.
Yeah, oh yeah, we loved it because we thought we were getting the 20 goal. We thought we were getting the 20 goal defenseman from Calgary who was scoring goals left, right, and center.
He's probably playing on the second or third pair.
In Calgary, yeah, probably because he was a rookie.
Well, exactly.
So that's what I'm saying is Riley needs to have those guys in front of him so that he could. I mean, he is the stud defenseman now, but imagine him in the second pair every night as opposed to the first pair every time with.
Well, I think he's going to be number two. They need that number one, which brings us to Willie Nylander.
Nylander. So he has also picked up his play as of late.
Goodbye. See ya.
So you think he's
gone? Let's bring in Shea Montador
or you did not just say William Nylander for Shea Theodore
or Montador.
I don't know. I mean Nylander
what
is the
do you
guy.
have a plethora of? Young scoring wingers.
So you know what? Trade Leipzig. Trade Kapanen.
That's not going to bring you back. That's not going to bring you back.
I know.
You have lots of scoring wingers.
I'm being very greedy when I'm saying don't trade the top three guys. But I mean, you don't want to mess with something good right now, and I don't think they will trade any of those guys this season. This season,
why not trade them?
It's easier to make deals in the off season. Wow. That's what Lou says.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But if you're going to trade somebody, I think Nylander's price is high right now.
But why trade in season when you know you're not going to really make a run this year? Why not do it in the off season to get set for the start of next season when you know you can actually make a full season run?
Why not do it now? Bring the defenseman
because there's a risk of a guy just walking. The guy's just going to walk.
He's under contract.
Well, how long is he under contract for?
He's still on his entry
level. Who are we talking
about?
Theodore?
Both of them. One's 21 and one's 22.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to give up your second best forward right now.
My second best forward? Did Marner just leave?
Okay, well, okay, so Nylander, your third best forward.
We should have thrown down the challenge on this.
We should have put a challenge on this. Your third best forward for basically Jake Gardiner. Jake Gardiner 5 years ago because we thought he was the savior when we first got him.
No, by all accounts, these two are going to be.
But that's what we thought about Gardiner too.
Defensive defensemen, not your wheeler dealers.
Okay.
Which is what this team needs.
Yeah, well, it's true. We do need a big. So get both of them then for Nylander. Get Nylander and a pick for both of them. And now sign me up. Sign me up. The Ducks will probably do it because we take everybody from the Ducks. True. So.
But you retain half the salary.
Yeah, well, we're retaining half of Nylander's salary. It's $250K. On a rookie deal. I'll take it. Anything else NHL-wise around the league? We've gotten completely off track here. Anything else NHL-wise that we got?
No, you homer.
Okay, well, we're going to go on to the MLB now because baseball is coming around the corner. Hockey is wrapping up.
This weather, eh?
Spring
is in the air.
It's 15 degrees today. We love it. We're going to talk Jays Grapefruit when we come back.
Hitting is not about muscle. It's simple physics.
Do you drug test the players?
No. On into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
You stink, Strawberry! We want home run homer! Daryl. Hey, Yankees! You can take your apology out of your trophy and shove it straight up your ass!
Hey, Yankees, you can shove it up your ass. A-Rod, gone. He's done. Said flat out he's not coming back, not going to make a comeback, anything like that.
Did he have an emotional retirement? Like,
he did.
Like he didn't Ortiz it, but I mean, like, he's
retired.
retired.
I mean, for him, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had anything against the guy. I like the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, say what you want about him. He's a jerk. He's an asshole. Everything like that. He cheated. But so did lots of guys. He just got caught.
Yeah, he sure did get caught.
I mean, the guy was a fantastic player.
He's the poster boy for getting caught.
He's a great third baseman. The funniest thing was him rounding second base with that ball in the air against Jays. And he just yells, "Mine." Like, what a beautician.
One of my biggest memories of A-Rod, other than him constantly hitting home runs against the Jays, is in fact that when he was with the Yankees still, and I'm still listening on the fan. I'm kind of a younger guy. And every single time, it seemed, A-Rod came up to the plate, he's hitting a home run.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Jays.
Gone.
He's a 50 home run guy, and then he just kind of
teetered off, and I mean, he had that massive deal, and you know what? Good for him for playing it out. He is a consultant with the Yankees right now. Sounds like he wants to move up to the front office somewhere. Sounds like he might even want to get into ownership. Now, I don't think Steinberger would go for that, but I mean,
so he wants to be completely off the field.
The Marlins. Yeah, he's done.
Nothing, no coaching, no nothing.
It sounds like maybe this year he might do some still that hitting consultant, whatever he was doing, kind of half in, half out of the bag. But it sounds like he wants to go to the front office, maybe be a GM, possibly own the team. He's looking for an ownership group to buy the Miami Marlins.
These guys must really have nothing better to do. With the amount of millions of dollars that he has, why can't he just go and chill for the rest of his life?
He was a fantastic in the playoffs there, though, as a broadcaster.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind listening to him on the broadcast for sure.
Like I said,
I love when former athletes do that.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it takes jobs away from guys like us, but whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of
guys
like us, Josh Donaldson, who is injured right now, nothing like us, but he's sitting on a couch, and that's what we're doing right now. So he's out until the beginning of the season. Most likely, he's not going to get into any grapefruit.
Calf injury.
No grapefruit games for him this year, but same calf injury that he had last year.
Nagging from last year. I mean, maybe it's time to trade him.
Maybe it's time to stretch the calf before you run out of that batter's box.
Get a nice little rub down.
He strained it when he was just kind of running on the field. So at least he didn't run over a sprinkler head or anything. But
tear his ACL.
But it's frustrating because you want to see him raring to go right out of the gates, and now it might take him 2-3 weeks to get into the swing and catch up with everybody.
Get into the swing. I see what you did there.
Yeah. So
more Jays news. Saltalamacchia, salty. Guess what number he's wearing?
I didn't see what number, but I did see that they could barely fit his name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah.
It's the longest surname in Blue Jays history, Saltalamacchia.
There you go, salty.
Fact right there.
Number 10. He's wearing number 10.
For Edwin Encarnacion, in honor.
Boy.
I don't know if it's in honor for Edwin, but Edwin had some interesting things to say this week.
That's some big shoes to fill. Yeah, Eddie did said something. He said that the Jays were too hasty in making their decision, something that we both said. From the beginning,
they took the offer off the table for Edwin a little too quickly, and they ended up jumping on Kendrys Morales with a deal that seemed okay at the time, but now when you see more of these guys signing,
I thought it was garbage from the beginning.
Well, maybe you see more of these guys signing now. It's like, well, why did we have to pay him $11 million a year? We could have paid him $6 million a year or $5 million a year,
or $3 million a year.
Yeah, like Chris Carter. But yeah, Edwin throwing down the gauntlet said
circle back.
Yeah. I know. Well, you'd think that they were going to do that, but then they thought they were going to lose everything, and they didn't think they were going to get anyone.
Yeah, but who cares? You have Morales. You can't add Eddie too. Eddie was a decent first. He's a decent first. He's a lot better than Morales at first base. True. Like I went to see that it was a Seattle game last year. The guy was diving across the field to grab a first base.
So I think basically what it came down to was them looking at $80 million and a pretty good deal for Edwin, or $33 million, and they're just looking at those two numbers.
Well,
and
you know, Shatkin's cheap.
Yeah, well, they didn't really spend a whole lot of money this offseason, so I guess you could say they had to tighten the strings a little bit. But considering all the other guys that were on under contract,
I don't get it.
So they start the Jays start their grapefruit season against the Atlanta Braves on Saturday. So we're not going to see a whole lot of regulars, I don't think. Braves. We're not going to see a whole lot of regulars in a lot of these Grapefruit games because I think most of the positions are already ready and filled.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really
so.
learn a whole lot in Grapefruit League. I mean, we could see some of the rookies, maybe that Garez kid.
Goriez, you might see Rowdy Tellez. You might see some of these Sean Reed Foley and Connor Green. Some of these guys.
Hopefully, Salty gets into a few games.
Yeah, I think he definitely will get into a few games because he won't. Well, he'll probably be playing more than Tolley was last year, but he's not with Martin healthy. Martin's going to be catching.
Well, you hope he stays healthy with that offseason. What was it, hip or knee? Hip surgery.
Probably both.
Yeah, he is a catcher.
Yeah.
More baseball news. Rob Manfred laying down the law,
trying to get some more rule changes and to speed up this game. Just kind of like we're trying to speed up the show.
We'll slow her down here. There's no pitch intentional walks going to be coming in this year, I believe.
Yep, this year. So now if you want to walk a guy intentionally, you can just say, I'm walking him. You don't have to spend an extra 10, 20 seconds doing the pitches.
I don't know if I like that.
It's not even going to save you.
It's not going to speed up the game. No. But one, you have those 4 pitches that then don't go on the pitcher's arm.
Yeah.
2.
Well, they're more like lobs.
I don't care. It's still strain on your arm.
Yeah.
You're still doing something.
It's true.
2, what if the guy leading off hits a double? He's a little speedster. And he wants to steal third on those 4 pitches. It's happened. What if the pitcher airmails one?
Yeah. They've really kind of put themselves.
Or the catcher misses it.
They've basically made it where, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of speed on the base paths off intentional walks.
Yeah, you want to slow down the game. There you go.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly
the game's slow. I don't think it's hurting too much. There's 50,000 people in the Rogers Center that say otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold out pretty much every game this year. Crappy markets, you're going to have crappy attendance. That's just the way it is.
But I don't even think it's the attendance. I just think they want to speed the games up. But there's no way that you can speed it up more than a minute or two at a 3-hour game.
Yeah.
And most games are going to be close to 3 hours
tour?
anyways.
Yeah.
A 3-hour tour. So they're they're at most they're saving a minuscule amount of time. And I mean, there's already only like 3 commercials in between each inning. There's a pitch. There might be pitch clocks in between each pitch.
I do agree with not letting pitchers warm up after they've already warmed up. Like the guys coming in from the bullpen, you just warmed up for 15, 20 minutes. Why do you need to come out and then throw 20 more pitches?
I think the only reason they do that is because it's to a different catcher in the bullpen, and it's sometimes the bullpen mounds are different sizes from the actual mounds. That's the only reason I see them doing that.
But you need 20? They don't let them take as much time as they want.
That is the only part of the game where it really slows the game down, and that's something they could fix.
There's a lot of pitching changes. I don't know if you noticed that, but I mean... Years ago, they used to use one pitcher for the whole entire game, no matter how bad he was doing.
No matter what, there's normally 7, 8 pitching changes per game.
It's ridiculous.
Total. So,
I mean, I know the statisticians say right-hander, left-hander matchup, everything like
and that works, but
does it work though?
Stats say that it does.
Stats say a lot of things.
Yeah.
The Bruins had the number 1 overall Corsi, but they still sucked.
Yeah, but I mean that's not guaranteed outs, or that's not an 80% chance of getting a guy out. Let's say, popping a guy up or grounding a guy out.
I don't know.
You're bringing your fireball lefty against a guy that can't hit lefties and hitting 100 against lefties. Well, you're going to take that risk.
Why does it matter when it comes to the closer, the Osina? He never seems to have any kind of trouble getting anybody out.
Well, but then there's only a few special breeds like the closers. They can get anybody out. But, I mean, if there comes to be a guy that mashes righties and there's a couple guys on and Osuna's in a jam, you're going to go to your lefty.
That's why you need to bring that Vietti guy back or whatever.
Yeah, he can pitch on both arms. Both arm pitcher, whatever happened to him. Geez, maybe we'll have to get into him on the Heatley Watch one of these days. Another rule change, quick before we move on, was Russell Martin. I think he was jokingly saying, if you hit a home run, just walk to the dugout.
Yeah.
I mean, how much time is that really going to save? Like freaking 5 seconds? I don't know. Some of the guys, maybe Martin, 10 seconds. A little longer to get
Joey
around
Bat,
maybe.
Him, but he likes to take his time
going around
the you lipping off.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was joking about that. But, I mean, I see where he's coming from. I mean, the game they're trying to speed it up in ways that is not really going to help at all.
Yeah, but by the time the guy gets around the bases, it almost takes as much time as... Like, the pitcher looks down right away and starts resetting himself for the next pitcher. So that he's going to do that anyways, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't really save much time anyways. And I know he's joking, but...
I just thought it was kind of funny. That
it is funny. Let's see if he can actually hit some home runs, and then he can do
we'll
that.
see. Yeah.
They also want to see, and this, I mean, he's got unilateral decision making starting 2018, so he can force these things in. He's talking about a pitch clock. And again, he brought up the idea of adding the guy to the second base in extra innings, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that seems really ridiculous. That's basically like unfair.
Oh, and also only allowing one trip to the mound for the pitching coach.
For the pitching all game?
Yeah, per pitcher. And also, you can't make a trip to the pitching mound with the catcher during an at bat. It can only be before an at bat.
Who's going to remember all these rules? That's what I want to know. They're going to have to be written down in front of John Gibbons, or else he's going to be walking out there every freaking pitch.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they need to speed up that review.
Yeah.
Guys shouldn't be allowed to look in the dugout and see if they want to challenge it. It's either you challenge it or you don't.
Exactly. Bang, bang play. Basically, like it happening live.
Yeah.
So we'll get more into spring training and the position battles the Jays will have this spring next week on the show. We're kind of getting into that next week. We haven't seen the game yet, obviously, so we can't really touch on that. But what we do want to touch on is something we've wanted to touch on for the last 3 weeks. Some NFL recaps, some divisional recaps. So we're going to get into that after this.
Bobby, water sucks.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
Whoever said you had to be good to play football?
Will you teach me to football?
I'll teach you anything. Just don't eat me.
It was all that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that.
Come on! Football!
Yeah, Bax, we are going to talk some football.
And we know it's off season. We know the Super
we're
Bowl's been won.
not gonna delve into it too deep like we did the other week. Just brief, quick overviews. AFC East. The Pats won the Super Bowl.
So the Pats won the Super Bowl, and this is the AFC East kind of recap. We're going to talk about the New England Patriots. Have been a few of the other teams in the division. A couple minor moves, a couple things heading into 2017, 2018. New England, Bill Belichick coming back, Tom Brady coming back.
I see he's already on his boat.
He's already on his boat. Belichick has already renamed his boat 5 Rings. It was named 4 Rings. So he was already on there. Looked like he was laying down in the sun, reading a playbook of some kind. So he's already getting ready.
Well, they're 5 weeks behind.
They are definitely 5 weeks behind. That's what Belichick says. And Brady is just busy looking for his jersey. That's all he's doing.
Oh yeah, did you see that? It's worth $500,000.
$500,000, and he has a list of suspects up on his Twitter. So if you go to Tom Brady, the thing that I sent you, the board with all those suspects of potential people that have stolen.
Prison Mike,
yeah, from The Office definitely could have stolen his jersey. It's a really funny picture. So if you have a chance, go take a look at Tom Brady's Twitter.
Well, I know my number one suspect.
Who?
Kevin O'Brien,
yeah. NFL analyst on the Bax and Patter show.
Going into this season, I mean, hopefully Gronk gets healthy and then he can see what they can do for the what are we going to call it? The drive for 6 or what?
Something for 6.
We'll
leave it to the experts to come up with the analogy, and then we'll just repeat it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at the other teams in this division as we always do.
Well, free agency's coming up, and as well as the draft. So let's see what. I mean, they can pull off. They usually do some sort of magic in the draft, in free agency. I mean, look at Hogan.
They pull someone out of somewhere, and they become an all-star. And like, I'm just looking at these teams, like the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets. Every year, it's like the Patriots are going to win again.
Well, absolutely,
they're going to win again.
The only one in there, I mean, and we'll talk about them now, is the Dolphins.
Yeah,
Tannehill. He's got to come back healthy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a great season going along until he got injured.
Yeah.
I mean, looked like they had a shot at least a wild card.
I mean, they just kind of blew it, same as the Bills. I mean, the Dolphins kind of notoriously kind of start kind of decent and then fall off a bit. Tannehill gets a little rusty, or whoever's quarterbacking for them at the time. Their defense kind of starts to lack.
I like that Cameron Wake, though.
Well, Cameron Wake, former CFLer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great on the defense for them, but he can't do it all by himself.
He
and he's a superstar.
Yeah. He's no J.J. Watt.
No, he's no J.J. Watt, that's for sure. They don't have anyone else to really help him defensively in Miami.
No, but he's good, a fantastic player. I mean, he gets to that. He gets after it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love watching him play.
Yeah.
And like I said, Tannehill, he needs to up his game and stay healthy. I mean, I don't know if he needs to follow that Tom Brady diet.
Yeah, he might have to.
But yeah.
Speaking of other quarterbacks in the
if you want to call him a quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
I am personally a Tyrod Taylor fan. I don't think, though, that Tyrod Taylor can lead a team that is not as good as a Dallas or as a New England. He can't lead that team into the playoffs.
No.
Lead them into a
the
championship
Bills are garbage.
or a Super Bowl.
The Bills are garbage. Let's call it what it is. They're garbage.
Tyrod is if the first look is not there, quarterback, he is going to run it himself, or he's getting sacked, because that's just basically Buffalo.
Well,
and that's basically Tyrod Taylor.
He is very much like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I think he's a little more accurate thrower than Tim Tebow. But like I'm saying, if the first throw is not there, yeah, he does not. He doesn't. That's for sure. Yeah, he's get hit.
He's
hit
cleared medically. Who knows if he's even going to be back on the Bills?
We know he might not even be their quarterback next year. We don't know who's going to be their quarterback.
Well, he's not going to get that millions of dollars if they cut him.
No.
What is it? $30 million because he's cleared medically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can cut him, no strings attached.
And we know who's not going to be coaching him.
We do?
Rex.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not going to be coaching.
He's not?
No.
Ah. Or his brother?
No, I don't think so. I think they're already all gone.
Yeah, they're probably headed on to the other end of the division.
Yeah.
The New York Jets, who are also brutal.
Yep.
They are possibly in contention for Tony Romo, though.
Yeah, well, Tony Romo, I think, has been rumored for about 10 other NFL teams, including Denver, including Chicago, Kansas City, but obviously the Jets as well. And they have problems other than just quarterbacking in New York. They have Darrelle Revis problems.
Yeah. What else is new?
He's charged with assault, charged with battery, charged with theft. He's just been really in the wrong part of town, I think.
Yeah, you know what? This is a guy for Bill Belichick to go after and reclaim, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and turn him around, because that's what he seems to always do with these players, especially if they're getting into hard times. You know, Bill Belichick will just bring them back in, and all of a sudden they're superstars. Couldn't. Well, he's still in jail. So.
That's all we got for the NFL recap this week.
We're gonna do some more recaps as the weeks go on.
AFC West next week?
We'll continue in the AFC. We'll do the AFC West next week, and we'll get into the NFC as we get further along here. But yeah, look forward to that.
Right on. We'll head into the injury report.
Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness! They just dropped the stretcher. Oh my goodness!
I think I'll live.
And again, I have no idea what that is.
That's what you want to know?
Your manager said you were sick.
Yeah, I had a diarrhea.
Welcome back. This is the injury report, the part of the show where we wrap up the week's injuries in all leagues of sports. And we're going to start this week with Steven Stamkos.
Stammer, skating in full pads.
Well, it's about time. That's all I'm going to say.
It's been, what, 3-4 months?
Yeah, and Tampa could really use him, I think.
Yeah, it's too bad the Leafs didn't sign him.
Well, geez, I'm so glad they did not at this point, and we were so for that happening, too.
We were?
But, well, I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, as a Leaf fan, I was for Steven Stamkos signing in Toronto. Now I'm for Jonathan Tavares signing in Toronto.
We cannot get into that.
And he's not quite as injury prone as Steven Stamkos, but Stammer could be coming back quite soon. The Florida teams are really kind of getting healthy.
It's a shame. Stammer is, he's a beauty. He's a goal scorer. He gets after it. He's got a high compete level and that elite skill. Guy can fly down the wing.
I think people forget he's a 50-goal scorer.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of time he's missed over the last 2, 3, 4 years is it's killer.
And it's
really.
all been related to that leg, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We got Mitchell Marner news.
Oh, plus, you gotta give Stammer the blue steel gaze.
Oh yeah.
Mitchell probably got some chicks.
Yeah. Marner, he was placed on IR this week.
Home?
A little close, yeah.
Yeah, he's on IR with his shoulder.
He's finally skating, though, so he'll be back this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, could be back Friday. He is shooting pucks, but is kind of that in-between spot on your shoulder if you feel your collarbone. Sounds like it's a stinger, and you take contact, and it just numbs out, is what it sounds like. At least that's what speculation is.
And we're no doctors on the show here, but we're
we
speculating.
We play one on our podcast.
Yeah, we definitely do. The Leafs didn't need him, obviously, scoring-wise last night, but they could really use. Against the Sens, they could have used him. And,
well, they trade him.
Yeah, right? Just trade him like Nylanders. Trade all of them.
Carrick went out last night.
Connor Carrick.
Day-to-day with a shoulder. Injury as well. Shoulder or head. I haven't heard.
Upper body.
Upper
That's
body,
what the Leafs like to say.
The
upper or lower.
The old Lou.
So Marchenko, the defenseman from Detroit, who the Leafs picked up recently,
he'll be checking in Friday.
Could
He
be
will
checking
be.
in.
He
Yeah.
will
He
be.
will be. He's
Yeah.
going to play. Okay.
In the lineup.
There you go.
So that'll be interesting. See his debut.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, Jonathan Quick down in L.A.
Is he finally coming back? Because I've had him stashed on the IR for my fantasy league all year.
Possibly back in March, which is good use for those LA Kings fans.
Can you imagine if the Kings limp through the entire year on the back of Peter Budaj, limp into the playoffs?
I think
throw Jonathan Quick in the net and win another Stanley Cup.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Can you imagine? As a Kings fan yourself, you would love it. But I'm just saying, that's just amazing that they could go through. Okay? Yeah, they could go through an entire season on Peter Budaj and Jeff Zakoff.
Do not sell short the efforts of Jeff Carter, because that guy has been amazing.
Oh, well, I know. I also have him on my fan. I know exactly how good he is. He has carried that team, but the Kings.
What a guy to turn his career around, though. Hey,
Yeah.
He was unwanted. Him
Philly.
and Mike Richards were considered just bad seeds there in Philly. They both got traded away. Mike Richards to LA directly for Wayne Simmons, which, that was a good deal both ways. Mike Richards has fallen off lately. We should put him in the heater.
We should. Yeah.
Anyways, so Jeff Carter goes to the Blue Jackets, then finds his way reunited with his buddy in LA, and they go on to win a cup. And this guy has been coming along ever since.
It just goes to show the difference in
good family
scenery.
Man now. I don't know if he just had a kid recently.
Yeah, I did hear about
summer.
that. Yeah.
And he's just killing it this year.
He is. He sure is. He's definitely dominating on a team that kind of struggles to score almost every year. But they're looking for more help scoring before the trade deadline as well. The LA Kings.
Yeah, Patrick Eaves.
Eaves. Yeah.
21 goals.
Yeah. Very quietly. Exactly. Under the radar in LA, but.
$1 million. He's making $1 million this year.
And they're looking to really make
career
a run.
high.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. Why didn't Ottawa get that from Patrick Eaves?
Well, they've got Bobby Ryan.
Well, Chicago is also looking at Patrick Eaves to
really?
trade for him. But, I think LA will probably not trade away anyone at this point.
Well, they can't afford to trade away any picks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They do not do well in the draft lately.
No, they don't. And Bobby Ryan.
Bobby Ryan, yeah, back to my original point on the Ottawa Senators there. Out with a broken finger. And Ottawa just keeps rolling.
Oh, they keep rolling. It doesn't even matter. Me and you could play for Ottawa, and we'd probably still win some games. It's crazy.
Absolutely. If Heater can score 50 in 07,
I know. I think we'll be okay. It's crazy how the Senators can continue to.
Yeah, but Bobby Ryan really has not been the player he needs to be for that team.
Mm-hmm.
He shows flashes, but he has not been that leader.
And it's just another bad luck situation for him.
Well, broke his finger. He's out 6 weeks. And they're just keeping him rolling. Carlson's got that team on the rails. He's got a point streak on the go.
They're only 1 point behind Montreal.
Yeah.
So, the division lead is right
there.
there.
Although Carey Price seems to have turned it around. I don't know if you saw the game last night. He looked solid.
Yeah,
and that save in overtime, diving across the crease, unbelievable.
I saw that. Yep. So that's the injury report. We're going to get into our GOATs after this.
So what you're saying is we're at this level, but we got to get to this level.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
A cool dude, a good teammate, good attitude about things, probably get some chicks.
It's
time
goat
for the
segment
GOATs.
time. And I'm going to let you do your GOAT first.
Ooh. Well, my GOAT this week, at least for this week, Josh Levo.
Okay.
Guy stepped up. He's a beauty. He has 8 points in the 5 games he's played. I think this guy has lost Ben Smith his job.
He might have. And I didn't mind Ben Smith, but
he
Ben Smith
struggled
is a
lately.
Marley,
They brought
basically.
they brought back Freddie Gauthier,
Yeah.
the GOAT himself,
Yeah.
and scratched Ben Smith. Levo fought to stay and proved that he deserves to be in that lineup. 8 points in 5 games. The pride of Innisfil, Ontario.
And the difference between Smith and Levo is Levo can play on the power play with some of these guys, and Smith is just a fourth-line grinder. So there you go. That's your goal this week.
That's my goal
Josh
this week.
Levo. And I was kind of bouncing around between Kadri, Nylander, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go away from the Leafs this week. I was also looking at GSP, but I'm going to go with Bill Belichick this week. The GOAT, laying on his boat. Probably looking at a playbook for next year, changing his boat's name to 5 Rings. this is just a shout out to Kevin O'Brien and all the Pats fans out there.
He's probably got 10 10 rings.
Yeah, just
on
ready
the
to
back.
go, and then he's
Exactly.
just peeling them off.
Peeling it down every
just
time.
peeling it down. We're never going to see a coach like this ever again in our lifetime. So I'm going to dedicate my GOAT this week to Bill Belichick.
Alrighty.
So we're going to jump into the Heatley Report.
Everybody's favorite segment.
Right after this.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job. The cuts.
Danny Healy, I'm in a slump, I'm an all-star, so.
Who was that?
That's right! Who do you think you are? I am! You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
Now, who are you again?
It is the Danny Heatley Report, or Heatley Watch, I guess it is. This week, we are going to go to football. A guy you know very well, being an Eagles fan.
Eagles fan, yep. I watched him, for a season in Philadelphia. Vince Young is the man in question this week. On
60 pounds overweight?
60 pounds overweight. He broke into the league with the Tennessee Titans as, I don't know if he was the number 1 pick.
2006, number third.
The third overall pick.
2006, third overall.
And he was the next big thing. He was on the cover of my Madden something or other.
7?
Geez, 07 or 08, something like that. He was on the cover. He was amazing. Vince Young was basically Michael Vick.
He was
the fast quarterback that he could run, he could throw, he could do everything. Except fight dogs. But he did his time for that, so we won't have to get into that. And now he's eyeing a possible comeback.
Yeah, he could be coming back to the CFL.
Yeah.
Sounds like he did a workout, or at least had a meeting with Jones there in Rider Nation.
So Saskatchewan is linked to a lot of former NFL quarterbacks right now.
Well, hey.
Johnny Money Manziel and
take it when you can get it. They're done with Durant. Actually, we screwed that up. Durant has gone to the Alouettes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Remember that a couple weeks ago?
So we got to fix that up.
That is a mistake. You blew it.
You blew it.
But yeah, Vince Young, eyeing a comeback. Who knows what's going to happen? This guy needs to hit the bike for sure.
Yep. And if he makes it to the CFL, who knows? Maybe we'll see him in the NFL
yeah,
again.
he's
Hopefully
33 years old.
Well, so
yeah,
I think his door is definitely his door is closing.
Yeah, and the window might be glued shut.
Yeah, it might be. But Vince Young, who was a huge up and comer and really played kind of well for a little bit there, but then fell off the map. He is our Heatley Watch
Member of the Week.
Member of the Week. I think that's what we'll call it from now on.
Yeah,
Heatley Watch Member of the Week. After that, we're going to wrap up the entire show with our cleanup segment, so stay tuned for that.
Clean up on aisle 4.
Clean up on aisle 3.
But we're going to need a cleanup on aisle 3.
Clean up on aisle 3. I got it.
Testosterone spill on aisle 4.
Clean up in all the aisles.
This is our cleanup segment. The part of the show where we mop up all of our messes and take you through some of the other sports going on. I want to touch on a goalie, or an ex-goalie, I should say. This Wayne Shaw played for Sutton in the English Premier League, crushing a pie, a meat pie, meat and potato pie during the match. He's the backup goalie.
Okay,
for Sutton.
So he's sitting on the bench, or is he in the game?
He's sitting on the bench.
Okay, so he's sitting on the bench.
And he is known as the roly-poly goalie. Guy weighs 23 stones, and for you Canadian American people, that is north of 300 loves.
So
300 pounds this guy was.
So my question is, how is he a professional athlete?
Well, yeah, that's the question. Yeah, I think he was just this lovable guy that they just kept around. He was the backup keeper, so...
God forbid he had to get in the game mid-pie.
Yeah. It turns out, and this is why he tenured his resignation, he read or heard from a friend of his that a bookie was offering 8-1 odds that he would be seen eating during the match. So he went at halftime, got himself a pie from the kitchen, took it down to the pitch, and was just crushing it in the dugout there.
That'll show those bookies.
Oh, yeah. Well, now he's being investigated. It's almost like by whoever the federation is, the soccer federation.
Wow.
Yeah.
All over a pie.
I mean, that guy is GOAT contention.
Maybe Sutton should have invested in a better backup keeper. That's what I'm going to say.
Some more serious news. Jim Popp spotted at the Leafs game last night with Larry Tannenbaum.
Interesting. Jim Popp, obviously the former Montreal Alouettes head coach, and he might be coming to Toronto in the CFL.
No, he was the GM.
He was the GM.
Tressman was the coach.
But then Jim Popp was also a coach at one point as well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was GM, then coach, and then he hired a guy, then fired a guy, then he became the coach again. It was just a vicious cycle in Montreal.
Yeah, but
him.
I mean, the one standout was a great quarterback in Anthony Calvillo.
Tressman was the quarterback coach in Chicago, was he not? Or did he get let go?
Yeah, he got let go. He was last coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. But now they're talk of reuniting Pop and Tressman in Toronto.
Reunited and it feels so good.
And it would feel good for Argos fans because we don't even have a coach or a GM yet. So I mean, you got Tannenbaum obviously working the phones there.
And they're losing out in free agency because nobody's getting anything done. Yep. Sounds like they also are looking at trading for the rights to talk to
Money Manziel.
It's
got to make Ricky Ratio good.
Well, he's come out and said, I'm 37 years old. I will be happy being a backup quarterback. Sounds like he wants to get into coaching himself.
Good for him.
Yeah,
though absolutely. I think he could still be a better option than Johnny Manziel.
I don't know, though. This league, this big play passing league could work out for Manziel if he can keep his life on the rails.
Mm-hmm. So and maybe
I'm
in Toronto
talking about the train rails, not the other rails.
Yeah. What else we got to clean up here?
Daytona, the Daytona 500 is on Sunday.
Yeah, this weekend.
This marks kind of the big one for the start of the NASCAR season. So hopefully we'll see some action there.
See some crashes. See some checkered flags.
Left turn.
Yeah, left turn for all you NASCAR fans.
Rachel Holman, Ontario native, and she's skipping the Ontario team. She is 9-0 right now at the Scotties, which is taking place in St. Catharines here.
St. Catharines, local Scotties tournament once again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta love watching some Scotties. We have some Scotties on now, to be honest. Canada and Newfoundland is just squaring off here, and a great game of curling. But
I mean, curling has come a long way. Yeah. It really has. These guys and girls are actual athletes now. They're in the gym. They're training. Yep. I mean, you see the arms on some of these male curlers. Holy cow.
You could definitely tell that it's a serious sport now. There's a lot of money in curling. I think especially Canada, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, there's Rachel Holman. Nice little shout out to her at 9-0 right now and looking to win.
Yeah. It is also the 37th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. Not a big deal for us Canadians here, but I mean, the movie was great.
And American hockey fans will definitely, they love talking about it. They love talking about the Miracle on Ice, and anything good with hockey and the U.S. they'll talk about, even though this was 37 years ago when they beat the Russians there. And then they ended up going into the gold medal game. And
that's the funniest thing. Is you see that, and you hear that, and you think, oh, that must have been the final gold medal.
Wasn't even the finals.
No, it was the semis.
And there's the semis, and they go into the final against Finland. They were down 1-0 after the first period.
Yeah.
They could have very well lost the gold medal, and if they lost that game back then, goal differential would have meant they would have got the bronze.
Really?
And the Soviets would have got silver. Oh. So there would be absolutely no story. There would be no movie. There would be no miracle.
There'd be no that little kid redoing the speech.
And you go on YouTube, you see tons of kids redoing the speech
that
turned around that whole game. Yeah, you got to go with the original for sure. But we just wanted to touch on that the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice for all you American hockey fans out there. That'll wrap up the show for this week. Any final thoughts there, Patrick?
No.
You think we're good?
We kind of went off the rails a little bit.
We did kind of go off the rails again, but next week we promise to be back on the rails. We're going to have some Jays.
No guarantees.
No guarantees, but we're going to definitely have some Jays
Lots
news.
of trade talk.
We're going to have some NBA.
Hopefully.
Some NBA talk on the trade deadline, which is tomorrow, and we keep creeping closer to the NHL trade deadline.
March 1st.
So we'll have more news coming to that, which is a Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
So we'll be live talking about the trade deadline on trade deadline day.
Yeah, give us a subscribe on YouTube there. Follow me on Twitter, PGR10, 10 the word, not the number.
And B_Backs_. Yeah, give us a subscribe and listen and keep listening. Next week's going to be a big one. So this has been Sports Chatter with Backs and Patter signing off for now.
Have a good one.
I thought he was okay. Just okay.
It's not good, eh?
Terrible.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.